Welcome back to the channel. I'm Chai, and I am back here with you today for another episode of Strange Horticulture. We are currently on day 13 on Wednesday. We only have a few more days of this game left to go, and I am anxious to see what is going to happen in these last few episodes. So last episode, we ended up having Faye Swift, one of our characters, come to the shop, and she gave us a plant and told us to give it to Simone in place of something else that she was going to ask for on this day. So we'll see what we choose to do when that comes along. But for now, we need to check out this card here that is in front of me that says End More, Raven, and Spider. And I have a feeling that we have to use the Briar's Disc for this card. So let's go here into the map and see what we have in store for today. All right, so I have this card out here, and I believe we're going to be starting at End More. So let's find End More on the map. Okay, so I found End More right here. So we are on L29, I believe it is. So I'm going to put the Briar's Disc on End More, and then I'm going to look at the Raven on the disc, and we'll see where that takes us, and then we'll look at the Spider as well. So placing this on the End More square and then going here to the picture of the Raven, we end up showing that we should be on space H29 now. So I feel that we should put the Briar's Disc on space H29 and then go to the Spider, and then we'll see where we land on that. So we are on space H29 and the Spider is pointing to space H25. So I am going to hope that this is the correct space, and we are going to click on this and see what we get. That was correct. I'm so excited. Finally, we're starting out on a good note. The past couple episodes, we've been wrong at the beginning of it, so that has pushed us to do other weird choices throughout the episode. So we have here a jackdaw croaks hidden somewhere nearby. Strange shapes of old stones pierce the long grass. Among them, some plants grow. So we have two new plants. Ooh, they're both green this time with some white. Looks like a daisy. I highly doubt it's called a daisy, but we'll see what it is when we identify it. But this one looks really interesting. It's like got some green bulbs here that look kind of like grapes or apples. So let's close the map, put our Briar's Disc away, and we will go to, oh, wait, we have to pet Hellbore. Gotta pet Hellbore always, and then we will go to our first customer. Welcome, Grace and Wright. Have you heard of this masked woman? Imagine having that amount of power. Nations would kneel before you. You would be a god. That creature, it's huge, unstoppable, and they say it obeys her every command. It would certainly come in helpful with my father-in-law tomorrow. I guess I'll just have to settle for some Daisy Dock to help get me through it instead. Okay, so have we identified that? I highly doubt it. No, we haven't. We actually got that last episode, so we will see here what this says. It says, Daisy Dock is a simple potion that will grant courage and can be brewed from the leaves. It is said that ancient warriors would take it before going into battle. So let's see what we got here. We need to look for a plant where the leaves look like this. Priddle looks very close to it, but that is not Daisy Dock. The leaves are shaped completely different, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 little spines here, and 3 on each of these other leaves. We'll have to check a different flower. That is definitely not going to be correct. Looks like we have a winner here. The plant has the same leaves that are in the pictures, and it says bluish purple flowers. Okay, so let's give this to her and hope that this is Daisy Dock. Fingers are crossed. We were correct, and we got a new book entry of Dead Man's Fingers. Interestingly enough, where I live, about 45 minutes away from here, I live near a city called Cleveland, and they have a road called Dead Man's Curve. And as you would guess, yes, there have been a lot of people who have passed away there because of how bad the curve is. It is actually not that fun to drive on, especially during the wintertime when it is snowing. So let's add this to the book, Dead Man's Fingers, and we will close the book, and we're going to label Daisy Dock. I believe that's what it was called. ABL, always be labeling. You know how I feel about that. That is the best part in the game. Let's go ahead to our next customer. Welcome, David Schaefer. He is our mailman. This letter was delivered in an unusual way. There was no address provided, just the horticulturist spelled wrong. Oh, nice. I have to assume it was meant for you. Let's collect that. Thank you, David. Have a nice day. Open the letter. What do we have here? If you know your plants, this letter is for you. Well, I have a feeling we need to put the thing. Do we have to put this over it? Oh, yes, we do. Here we go. Ho, ho. So you got it working. Oh, yes, yes. It works. It works. Look to the north of Bowfell. At the source of the river Esk. At the source of the river Esk. Nobody knows it grows there. It will be our little secret. Ho, ho. So we need to look to the north of Bowfell at the source of the river Esk. Let's go into our map and see what we can find. So here we have Bowfell, and we are going to go to the north of the River Esk. And this here is the River Esk. As you can see, it flows all the way up into Bowfell, and here is the end of it, which is the source. So I'm going to guess C14 is where we're looking for. Sure enough, I find a plant here that I have never seen before. All right, let's collect that. Awesome. We finally have a new color, a tan flower. Very interesting. Kind of looks like related to like the tulip family. Did we get that correct? We did. We checking it off. Let's archive that. We're checking off a lot of things and we're getting them right. So that helps me out. Next customer. So we have Thora Dunn. Welcome. My husband likes to forage for mushrooms, but I'm worried about the ones he's brought back from his latest venture. He's just been on a trip across the lake exploring the woods to the west of here. He's got a bag full of odd-looking mushrooms that he says are perfectly safe, but they don't look edible to me. I'd have brought one with me to help identify it, but he is hoarding them because he thinks I'm going to throw them out. Wow. I'll come back tomorrow. So she has a note for me. Okay, so let's collect this. Mr. Dunn, mushrooms, woods, west of Undermere, across the lake. Okay, so it looks like we have to go back into the map. Here it is, Undermere, and then it is to the west. And it says it's in the woods. So there is a little patch of woods that starts right here. So I'm going to click here on I think it's G20. Yes, G20, and we'll see where this takes us. It says it's across the lake. So this is the lake, Lake Undermere. So we'll go right here on G20. Mushrooms? How have I never been here before? They're hard to find at first, but soon I'm seeing them everywhere. We have another new plant. Lots of plant collection in this one. Oh my gosh. More red mushrooms. Wonderful. And looks like we got that checked off. Let's archive that. Good deal. We're moving right along. Let's go to the next customer. Uh-oh, so here we go. Here's Simone. This is the one we were waiting for. Lord Fremont told me he was able to help you find some information on the servant. I've been looking all over the library, but all I've discovered is a mold problem. I hope you might have some sweet breath that could help clear it up. So we have a choice here to give her the Paliance that she wants, or we give her the Lyle of Neptune that obviously is what Faye Swift gave us. So for sure, this plant is what she gave us last time. So it says long, thin leaves, quite rigid, aroma is sharp and citric. So this is supposed to be the Lyle of Neptune. Yes, it is. It's this plant. Got it. Yeah, that's it because it looks like this at the top. It says Lyle of Neptune, also called Truthsayer. This plant will force a person to tell the truth when eaten. The sparsely petaled pale flowers give off a strong scent. Okay, so what I want to do here, put this back up here. I want to label this Lyle of Neptune to make sure we have this labeled. We got that one. And then do we have Paliance labeled? I don't remember. Let's look in our book. No, we don't. I wanted to identify these plants for sure. It says, most plants offer a small improvement to air quality, but the Paliance is in a class of its own. It is sometimes called sweet breath, thanks to the freshness of the air in its vicinity. The many short leaves of this plant are thought to help filter toxins from the surrounding air. So let's find a plant with leaves that look like this. Oh, we already labeled it last time. That's right. We labeled this last time because we ended up finding out what that was from the other customer, and they told us exactly what it was when they gave it to us. Got it. But you know what? I'm actually going to listen to Faye Swift. For once, I'm going to listen to somebody else. We'll see where it takes us. And I'm going to try to keep myself out of trouble here. And I am going to get the Lyle of Neptune plant to her. And I'm going to see what happens if we do that. Oh God, cross fingers, please. I didn't want to mention this, but Fremont gave me something else from his archives. A recipe for an elixir. I will take that. It is the key to the link to the servant. In theory, it would be possible to wrest control of it from the woman in the jade mask. In theory. Okay, this could be a good thing, but the only records I was able to find are hundreds of years old. And even if it works, what then? The power that can be wielded through the Woken Dendru is too great for any one person. We should stick to the Sisterhood's ritual. And thank you for the letter and the book entry. We have recognized that this is Lyle of Neptune. And we have a thing here for sour brandy. Nice, an entry for the book, and the elixir of control. The link between the servant and the master is not fully understood. What we do know, however, is that the link can be broken at the expense of the mind of the master. In doing so, a new master can take their place and assume control over the servant. A strong will is required when consuming this elixir, lest the mind of the drinker is overwhelmed. It is believed that the power of a stone circle can amplify the effect of the elixir. Look at this. They even give us 3 pictures of plants so we know what to use, and I have a feeling that new red mushroom is one of them. Let's put this here in our letters section and go on to the next customer. Lorena Chapman, my cousin will be married in 3 days. If you've got some Trimblehuff, then it'd save me the trouble of going out to find some myself. If you knew my cousin, you'd know she's not worth the trouble. I don't believe that we have identified that at all. Matter of fact, I don't even remember getting that plant, and I'm really hoping we have it. We do have an entry for it. It says, the Trimblehuff is traditionally used as decoration at weddings, as it is thought to strengthen relationships. A cross-section of the small cup-like flowers, they generally point downwards to avoid filling with water and to allow easy access for pollinating insects. All right, let's go see if we can find a flower that is like this. It looks to me like I've already found it because this is a plant we got last time and the shape of the cup is the same and they face downward and the flowers are blue. So Trimblehuff, we'll give this to her, see what happens. Hopefully we are correct. We are correct. Book entry. We got Glowhorn, very nice. Ooh, we are at the end of the day. We did learn a couple things, and I'm glad we got this elixir, so that will help us out later. So let's label Trimblehuff. So as I said, we are at the end of the day. We have some will to explore for next time, so we'll be able to go directly in there with our card. So let's end the day and see what our card says. Our card says 8 miles to the east. That is not helping me at all. 8 miles to the east of what? Of what tree? It says here, the shepherd watched as she prepared the leaves and roots that she would require. He watched as the hours dragged by. The sun set and she worked by candlelight, at times sitting still, at times moving like a dancer among the stones. The change happened suddenly, but also subtly, so that at first the watcher was not sure that anything had happened. Then he saw it. It is now day 14, and of course, we are back to the rain. We had a few days of break of the rain, so that was nice. But if you would like to join me back on day 14, Thursday, I would be happy to have you here as we will be going on and seeing what else happens in this mystery. And as always, I do have a playlist in the description below if you would like to see the rest of this series. But until then, if you have any feedback or suggestions, please leave them in the comments below, and also subscribe if you enjoyed the video so you won't miss any new content from me in the future. Until next time, have a wonderful day.